Somebody new sort of likes me. Hello. So let's see. What ends up happening here? Let me move this. I'm sure I'll need to move it again. I'm just here as a placeholder in case we listen to some of my songs or something. Alright. So, all we're doing here is a little Q&A. Because a lot of people sometimes act like they want to do that. So, here we are. Some guidelines to these questions. If you ask me favorite anything, you are not going to get an answer, because I don't do favorites. I always find questions about favorite anything to be annoying. So I'm not really going to answer any questions that are, what's your favorite, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. You can ask me this or that questions. Do you prefer this or that? But favorites? Not big on the favorites crap. Alright. So there's a lot of comments. Let's see. See if I can find some. Where did I get the idea for my mask? I kind of have answered that question in a video called Who is We Skeem? The long and short of it is visually Scream and Michael Myers, so Ghostface and Michael Myers and Slender Man are the visual. The rest of it, I don't know, watch that video. I'll ignore Mrs. Skeem as many times as I feel like ignoring you, I guess. There. Let's just have the dead air in the background. Do I watch video game rap battles while not recording? Nope, I don't. It's something I only really found out about because people wanted me to react to them. And when I've seen them, they're fine, but not the type of thing I'm gonna watch on my free time, I guess. Xbox controller or PlayStation controller? Xbox. In pretty much every conceivable way. Assassin's Creed Valhalla? I don't know because I don't play it. Where do I see myself in a few years in the YouTube landscape? Well, it depends on what the YouTube landscape is in a few years, how that shapes up. I anticipate I could be a consistent content creator. One of those channels that has a couple 100,000 subscribers. Doesn't really ever get much bigger than that, but has its couple 100,000 loyals, faithfuls. I could see myself there. I will not show you some skin. Aretha Franklin, she's fine. Why do you make others shame people who dislike autotune? Because it's just a trendy thing to dislike, and people who think they're smarter than they are tend to be the ones throwing a lot of shade at autotune. So I just like to put them in their place. Do you consider yourself a simp or a Chad? More of a Chad. What systems do I play? Pretty much all of them. Not PlayStation very often these days. Do you subscribe to your friends? I don't really have friends. Skill you guys don't know about? I don't know. Alright. So many comments. What religion do you think makes the least amount of sense? I don't know, you're probably going to get into the cults. Cults are what make the least amount of sense. which are somewhat religions, so your Scientologies and stuff. You rap, you sing, you play keyboards, you produce, you game, and are an all-around cool dude. What's one thing you suck at, just to remind us that you are still human? I'm not good at several sports. I love basketball, but I suck at basketball. I have a decent shot, but everything else is junk. Am I going to watch the new video game rap battle? Maybe. What are some coping mechanisms for anxiety? It depends, man. It depends on each individual person. What works for some people, like breathing exercises, actually make me more stressed. So I don't know if I'm the best measure of good coping mechanisms. I play video games. I play Switch. It's my portable Xanax. Will I ever do a face reveal if I get 1 million subs? Will I ever make a SMM2 level on stream? Super Mario Maker 2. Maybe. I hadn't really thought about making one on stream. What inspired me to get into music? Being a mixture of being depressed, mostly being depressed. How'd you get the idea for the outfit and the mask? My brain. I kind of go into more detail in the video called Who is We Skeem? You can Google or YouTube search that. What is the meaning of life, in my opinion? In my opinion, that is an unanswerable question, and it is unknown. So you should just try to be the best person you can be and be passionate about your beliefs without hurting other people, generally speaking. Don't seek out happiness, because that's a fleeting thing, but seek out fulfillment. So when can we expect Epic Rap Battle of History track? I don't know what you mean by that. RGCTZ1, blah, blah, blah. Have you tried playing racing games? I don't like racing games. Tupac or Eminem? I prefer Eminem over Tupac. Do you have any tips or advice for someone who's looking to become a YouTuber? Upload every day and find other people uploading similar content and work with them. Why do my parents hate me? Who knows? Maybe you suck. Am I still a Chad? No. I don't really have... You can't really be a Chad or a simp when you're married. I mean, I guess you could be a simp. You can be a Chad in ways of being a dick. So I guess I'm a Chad in that way. Emailed Anthrax. Am I a happy person? I don't know. Why does your stream voice, music voice, and video voice sound so different? Masks, production, equalizing, inflection, character roles. Do I have any tattoos? Maybe. Skeem, do you come up with your original rap songs? Like, how do you come up with them? What's your thought process? It depends on the song. Sometimes I'll make an instrumental and put lyrics to it. Sometimes I'll have a concept, write lyrics, make an instrumental around it. It really just depends. There's no set process. Mike Lowry asked, my question is, how many times did you die at the hands of the breather last night? Once. The game just bored me. He only killed me once. I just left because it was such a boring game. How do you think the world would most likely end this year? The same way it would most likely end any year, which would be nuclear war. That's the most actually plausible way the world would end, or a asteroid that hits us. How often are you planning on doing Discord on Discord? Not very, and it might be something that just happens in Discord and doesn't release to the channel. How's your subpar rap battle going? Any ideas of what it's going to be yet? I had something going with it. I had a project kind of created for it. It didn't really work out, so back to square one. And I've kind of said I don't want to do one of those unless there's a really good idea or a good collaboration, and none of that's really come, and I'm not going to force it. Are you good at math because you're good at history? Well, you're not good at spelling because you used the wrong your. Math is my weakest subject. I'm probably in the 70th percentile to 75th percentile for math, which for me is really, really bad when you compare my skills in other ways of thought. I'm good with logic and reasoning, which is like verbal math, but numbers math, no. Any collabs in the future? Holy crap, everything just dropped. There it is. I've got several collabs going on at any given time. I don't know your core belief system. I don't do meth or any drugs. Have I listened to any more MC Wicks? No. Do I like the color red? Yes. What helps with depression? Depends on if you're depressed because of mental illness or depressed because of external circumstances. Those are two very big, different things with different advice. Do I prefer hot or cold? Hot. How old is my music career? Depends on what you define as a career, but I've been doing music for 20-ish years. Emailed Anthrax with the dumb questions. Alright. A cult isn't a religion until the founder dies? Not necessarily. There's been plenty of cults with living founders. And when they die... Oh, you're saying it's not a religion. Okay. What's my zodiac sign? It doesn't matter because they mean nothing. Do you ever think you're going to get 1 million subs? No, I don't think I will. I think I'll have a consistent subscriber base that allows us to do what we want to do financially, but I don't think I'll get 1 million. Can I dance? Some salsa, and that's about it. Who is my biggest role model? I don't really have one. Just dropped your husband off to rehab 2 states away from home. Oof. Please say something to help us get through this. I mean, there's nothing I could say to help you get through it. But at least he's going to rehab. And if it's 2 states away, it's probably because you wanted to get him to a good center. So I wouldn't view it as such a catastrophic event. Just view it as treatment, like anything else. Like if he had to go 2 states away for physical therapy for a bum knee, it would be like, well, this is going to suck, but he's going to get his knee better because he's getting the best help. Just think of it that way. Electric or gas car? I like electric cars. Coke is better than Pepsi. Do I think people are stupid? Yes. Generally, people are stupid. What do you think of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? Is it the future? It's tough to be the future because there's a lot of people with a lot of money who don't want it to be the future. But I wouldn't mind it. When you get into depressed moods such as recently, would you prefer us to leave you alone? It's not going to matter what you do. My moods have little to nothing to do with external stimulus. It has to do with my internal brain. So, do what you want. I skipped someone. Oh well. I'm doing what I can. Have you ever heard of watch grade? Nope. Heard of or watch grade? No. Do you think you and Tom McDonald would or could ever collab? Probably not. I mean, we could collab. I don't think we would. I have nothing against that idea, but I don't see myself ever bringing anything enough of value to him for that to happen. Do you sacrifice virgins daily to the sun god? Not anymore. If I'm in a McDonald's drive-thru, what am I ordering? Quarter pounder, no pickles, no onion, large Coke, large fries. What do you think of Egovert? I don't know. Do you give your wife stuck in your basement food? Oh, if I'm feeling generous. Red Dead Redemption or Fallout? Fallout, most of the time. No, I'm not wearing the mask, and that's just my face. Has having Skeem changed your life? Yeah, but not as drastically as people act like it would. I mean, it does, but when you know how your life is going to change with a child, it doesn't seem as jarring. It's more like, oh, this is what I expected. So I was prepared for this. What other hobbies other than music, gaming, and YouTube? Bowling? That's a hobby when I get to it. How am I doing today? I'm doing all right. Zombie apocalypse might ever happen? No. Can I react to your song? Probably not. But stop by on a Sunday stream. That's when I react to independent artists' music. Come by with $1 and we'll listen to it. If you learned a foreign language, which would it be and why? Probably just... I want to know Spanish again. I used to be nearly fluent because I'm Hispanic, so that would be why. What do I think makes a good game? Story, gameplay, action, Okay, a game needs to be visually appealing. Doesn't have to have good graphics, quote unquote, just a good art style. So visuals are important. Music is important. So those are the first two things I'm going to look at. Like, visually, I'm also looking for animations. I like good animations. But good visuals, good music. The story can be a big factor. It could also be a non-factor, just depending on the game and how it's driven. And then gameplay is the king of all king. I want a game that I actually want to play. Thoughts on Margot Robbie in Pirates of the Caribbean? She's in Pirates of the Caribbean? Okay. I like Margot Robbie generally. Does Skeem sleep through the night yet? Not quite. He wakes up a couple times, but sometimes he does. Like Live and Bail. Thanks, man. Do you have favorite non-mainstream rapper? If so, who is it? I don't really do favorites. Do you think I'm a savage? Depends on how you define savage. Which video game that you played had the best written story, in my opinion? The Last of Us. The first one. The second one is tragic. But The Last of Us was probably the best written story. Red Dead Redemption, the first one, also, because of how it ended, was pretty epic story. What do you think of... what is this Egovert thing? I think I know what it is, but I don't remember. What do you think of people comparing me to Deadpool? I mean, that's a flattering comparison. Will I ever do professional covers, like bands and singers other than Disney? I already have. Go to my playlist, remixes and covers. I did... Here, I'll show you guys one really quick. Wake Me Up When September Ends, We Skeem. So this is, professional, regular band cover.
Summer has come and passed. The innocent can never last.
See? I've already done it. Spectra. Way ahead of you. I have a few of these. I have one, Car Radio, from 21 Pilots. I even added a rap verse to this. Look at me go. So, there you go. That's the answer to that question. Okay. If I was in the NBA, would you go for money or fame? Why not both? But I don't really care about fame as much. Hence, the covered face. Do you have any advice for people looking to pursue music as a career choice? Have a backup. Also, just don't rely on anyone to be your support or motivation, especially people you know personally. The people who will motivate you and make you feel like you want to keep going are people who don't know you personally. Because people who know you personally, most of them, will not be very open to your music, in my experience. Even when it's not my music, like other people who are musicians that have reached out to friends and family. Friends and family are really bad at being supportive generally. And that's a misconception. commonly. People think friends and family are the ones that are going to boost you up, but friends and family feel awkward listening to your music, and they're like the worst support ever. So find fans who don't know you if you want external support. Can we collab on a song? Maybe? I don't know. What would you do in the unlikely event that your whole channel got demonetized? I would just rely more heavily on streams with donations on Streamlabs and Patreon. I would just let people know very clearly that it's demonetized, so they would hopefully support me that way. There are plenty of dumb questions. My favorite game? I don't do favorites. Deep question. If you were stuck on a deserted wasteland, in order to survive, you would have to watch 20 hours of loli porn. Would you do it? Loli porn? I'm not familiar with what kind of porn you're talking about, but if 20 hours of porn is what's between me and survival, I guess we'll go with it. I feel all religions are cults at the base, to be honest. I mean, you probably just don't have a good understanding of the difference between religion and cults then. Oh shit. It just did a refresh again. Or someone deleted their comment. Damn it! Ah! Need to see where I was. Well, I might have missed a few, but anyway. Hey, Skeem, I discovered your channel a few months ago, and you're very entertaining. How's wee Skeem doing? Well, thank you for considering me entertaining. And the baby is doing very, very well. Am I a fan of Naruto? No. I don't watch much anime at all. Preferred vehicle, truck, sports, off-road, economy, motorcycle, etc. Trucks are usually my go-to. What is my biggest goal? My next goal at this point, I guess, is that this can be my only job. Because right now we got Mrs. Skeem not working, but I'm still working 2 jobs. And the idea of not working 80 to 90 hours a week is fairly attractive. So my next immediate goal is that this would make enough money that I can stop working completely, except for this channel. Okay. If I was the president for a day, what would I do? Not a lot. The president doesn't have that much power. You have COVID-19? Oh, that sucks. Glad my videos help. Do you like the fact that I want to support your entertainment career? Yes. That's a weird question. Is Canada a real country, or am I a paid actor? No, Canada is not real. What was the first game you ever played? I think Duck Hunt. I don't know that I ever got into gaming. I just have always played video games. I don't remember like a turning point. J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar? Kendrick Lamar. Which Mortal Kombat character am I? I don't know. I really don't know. I sound upset? I'm not upset. This is just my voice. What do you think of Tekashi 6ix9ine? I mean, still rapping like a gangster? I've never thought anything of him. So I thought he sounded like a little dweeb before. I think the same now. What do you use to make your beats? You were thinking of getting Fruity Loops Studio. I've never played with Fruity Loops. I use Native Instruments Machine Micro and its software. What Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle are you? Probably Raphael. KSI or Rice Gum in terms of being a better rapper? Well, Rice Gum is probably one of the worst rappers I've ever heard. KSI I don't think is amazing, but he's definitely better than KSI. Was Wee Skeem born with the mask? Of course. What games do I play? I don't know. Watch my gaming streams. Those are the games I play. Do I like the outdoors? Yes. Would I rather be in a zombie apocalypse or nuclear? Well, nuclear is more likely. If I was actually prepared for an apocalypse, either of those sounds nice, because I don't like people. Am I a girl or a boy? I don't know. Ever played Rainbow Six Siege? No. Preferred things to get in a care package. We like snacks and cute things. Snacks and cute things. Mrs. Skeem probably answered as well. The Last of Us 2 was bad. Your thoughts? Yes, it was bad. It's a disappointing event. Do I think barbecue sauce is overhyped? No, it's probably hyped the right amount. What are my thoughts on the rioting? It's stupid, and it goes to the theme of people being stupid. Favorite dipping sauce or topping? I don't do favorites. Will I react to Tom MacDonald's new song, Fans, despite what the timestamp says? The song itself is not 18 minutes, it's much shorter. I don't know if I'm reacting to Tom's Fans song. Maybe. Reactions will be starting again next week, hopefully. Do I like the Walking Dead game? I don't know. I've only played one Walking Dead type game, and I liked it. What's my favorite reaction I've done? I don't like my reactions. I don't generally watch reaction videos. I just do them because you guys like them and I have some fun with them. Not like a ton of fun, but they're slightly entertaining. Probably the ones I like are the really stupid ones that no one has watched because I'm just having fun with them. But probably recently, the Arnold Schwarzenegger reacting to Terminator vs. RoboCop, that one made me genuinely laugh rewatching. Would you work with UK artists like KSI or Randolph or Minimentor? I've worked with 10K. He's a UK artist. So I guess the answer to that's yes. Have I played Spider-Man? I'm assuming the PlayStation one. I think I have it, but I've not played it. I want to at some point.
Holy butt stuff a donation!
Hey, $5 from Gaster. Thanks, man. Are you going to play Cyberpunk? Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to stream Cyberpunk when it comes out. I can't wait. I've already said all I'm going to say about Last of Us 2. How did I come up with my character? I really break that down in Who Is We Skeem. I'd recommend just YouTube searching that video. Death Battle and Gaijin Goomba. I have not watched those channels. Oh, I've watched Death Battle, but I don't have favorite episodes. If you could hang out with one hero, who would it be? What do you mean by hero? If you're talking about like a real person, Shaquille O'Neal. And I don't know, I would just hang out, talk. Yes, that's a Green Day remix song. Which celebrity's death upset me the most? Kobe Bryant and Chester Bennington. And then before that, Robin Williams messed with my head. But Kobe Bryant and Chester Bennington were the biggest ones. I grew up in the Los Angeles County area, and I was definitely Team Shaq, not Team Kobe. But that doesn't mean I didn't have love for Kobe. Biggest phobia? I don't know that I have phobias. Really? If I played an orchestral string... I would play violin. That'd be fun. I'm not going to freestyle. Favorite ERB is still Joker versus Pennywise. That thing was a masterpiece. You can write raps, but can't rap. You have good flow and stuff. Any tips for me to... I don't have a rap voice either. Just do whatever. What Rubik's Cubes can I solve? The traditional 3x3s. And the 3D 3x3s. Does Mrs. Skeem like your music? No. No, she does not. She's liked very few songs I've ever made. Will you be reacting to breaking down Tom MacDonald's new song? I don't know. I might. I haven't watched it yet because I'm thinking maybe I'll react to it. My phone rings. I pick it up. It's M. He wants you for a collab. What's your immediate reaction? I'm just going to ask him for details. What do you want? What's the song? When do you need it by? I'm pretty... In those kinds of situation, in high pressure, big impact moments, I'm very calm and analytical. So I would just be calm and analytical. And then later, I would like schoolgirl out about it. Would you ever consider reacting to the 4th Star Wars rap? No, I am I am done with those. Those were not good. How did you come up with the character? We already talked about that. Will I ever be on a YouTube cipher? I don't know. Ask Crypt. I mean, I'm going to be in a cipher on YouTube sometime the end of this month or early next month. And Joey Nato, who made this beat? Nato made the beat. So that'll be fun. But will I be on one of Crypt ciphers is what I'm assuming you're asking. It'll just depend. Crypt knows who I am. We're on good terms. So it would just be if he sees me as a good fit for a spot on the cipher. I would imagine I would be the Pharaoh, the Earthworm of any cipher that he would put me on. The token weird guy. I don't think it's completely out of the question, but I don't expect it either. How am I with spicy food? I like spicy food, generally. Dude, I'm the best background noise. Hey, I'll accept the background noise compliment. What would I do if I woke up with over 10 million subscribers? Well, I'd check to see if some sort of bot thing had happened, and if there was real organic subscribers, I would start to figure some shit out and make a 3-month plan to probably quit my job so long as the money was there, and I would be extremely happy. You have a favorite in D12 besides Eminem? Not really. No favorites. Are there currently any TV shows you have discovered or like to watch? Yeah, Netflix just released a new thing with Steve Carell that Mrs. Skeem and I are watching called Space Force. I'm very much enjoying that show. Why haven't I reacted to George Carlin versus Richard Pryor? Because I haven't done reactions this month, aside from 2, because it's been a busy month, but I'm going to react to it. Why is it so far behind? I'm just far behind on the questions, because you guys hit me with like 40 before I started talking. What's the best TV series that I've ever seen? Breaking Bad. Would I rather have a golden retriever or a Shiba? That's a toughie. But I guess a golden retriever. Skeem, are we paying you to pretend to be our friends? No, I would hope that you were paying me because you enjoy the content I create and like being part of the community and want me to continue making the content, not for pretend friendship. Telltale Walking Dead is cool. Yes, it is. Did you like playing some of Bendy? Yeah, I enjoyed Bendy. I'll play it again. In 10 years, Skeem is going to be canceled for saying butt stuff. I've said a lot worse. I've said stuff that should cancel me in today's world. But the thing with cancel culture, there's a couple things that have to be present. One, you typically have to be a personality that people wouldn't expect to do something off. Two, you have to address the controversy if it happens. If you don't want to be canceled, then when the controversy happens, you don't say anything. You just let people get bored. Unless you actually did something wrong. But like for me, the stuff that someone would cancel me for would be like, I don't know, like my song JKLMNOP, which the only thing I would do is be like, it's a joke, bro. And the people who follow me generally would have my back. The best way not to get canceled is to not do something stupid. Will I ever do a cover of Shiny from Moana? I don't like that song. Reefer, glad to give hours of entertainment. Have I played any Telltale games? One, at least. Oh damn, it just fucked me up again. Gotta scroll up. Ah! Spider-Man on stream. If I figure out how to get my PlayStation hooked in, sure. When you do the Mortal Kombat stream where we can join, do you want me to play bad on purpose so it could be fun? Well, unlike Super Smash Brothers, Mortal Kombat, I would be the one usually smacking people a little bit. Super Smash Brothers, I've always been a lot more casual. I don't know the weird techniques people do, but Mortal Kombat, when I've played online, I'm decent at that. Probably because I've been playing it for over 20 years, and they haven't really changed it too much. Mortal Kombat 11 is quite a bit different. I'd fare better at Mortal Kombat 10, I'm sure, than 11. Do I play mobile games? Not really, except for at bedtime when I'm trying to sleep. I play a couple of them. Rick and Morty or South Park? Depends on my mood. For my third or fourth rap song, can we collab? Probably not. If you're that early on. But maybe. What's with the butt stuff? I don't know, it's a meme. Just don't worry about it. Why do you think Walking Dead is better than Breaking Bad? JK, trigger question. It's not. Yo, Skeem, have you heard an Aussie rapper by the name of Complete? Yes. Do you listen to any country music? No, I hate country music. South Park is the smartest show on TV. Probably. Biggest public pet peeve. My biggest pet peeve in any setting is stupidity. Have I ever played TF2? And if you have, what's your favorite class? I don't know what TF2 is, so I'm guessing no. Nerd question. If you had to choose one superpower from a DC hero and a Marvel hero, which one would you choose? And you would choose Spider-Man and Fate. So do I get one power or all their powers? I'm going to assume one power. And so I'm going to get the healing factor from Deadpool or Wolverine. Doesn't matter which. And then, because that's got like immortality checked off, and since it's only one power from each, so that's my DC, or that's my Marvel. I don't know if I said DC earlier, but that's my Marvel, and then my DC power. Debating between super strength, like Superman strength, or speed. Because once you get like the Flash level speeds or Superman level speeds, that's basically teleportation. And I guess if I ran into anything, I would just regenerate anyway. And I'm immortal. But being super strong without having to go to the gym is also pretty dope. I guess I would just take the super speed. Super speed and regeneration. All right. Will I ever do a face reveal if I get 1 million subscribers? Rapping or singing, which one is more appealing? Depends on my mood. Have I seen the new Pennywise versus Groot on Cartoon Beatbox battles? Those things are cringy to me. Like, cringy to levels that I'm uncomfortable with. Not way to make me sound like a jerk. It's just not my style. I like some of your stuff. I walked down the aisle to a song you wrote. Yeah, the piano acoustic. I mean, there was nothing that was untrue about my statement. You strongly dislike the vast majority of my music. Hey, Skeem, at your next milestone, do we get a hair? Nope. No reveal. Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees? Who wins in a fight? Probably Jason. Weapon crazy, thanks. Why did it just do that again? I hate when it warps to the bottom. What instruments do I play? Piano, guitar, I can dabble in drums. And then I consider synthesizer different than piano because it's a different technique. What was your reaction when the official ERB channel commented on Joker vs. Pennywise reaction vid? I was pretty stoked. That was my main reaction. I was confused how they found me. Tips on finding a relationship as good as mine. Maintaining. I mean, it's not about finding it. It's just about both people being willing to deal with the shit and move through it. Relationships are never as good as they seem on screen. no one's got a perfect relationship, so it's just about being willing to work at it. Cats or dogs? Dogs. Who would you want to play you? Alright, so when DC makes a gritty, dark Skeem movie with a mask that's way too detailed, because that's what they would do, who do you want to play you, and who would the bad guy be? Just let Ryan Reynolds play me, and we're good. I don't care who the bad guy is. Your character was liked by a TV cartoon show. What would you do? I don't understand what you're asking. Tell you author for his next... no. Mr. Beast giving me $10 million? I'm quitting my job, spending my time on YouTube. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? And I'd also put a lot of that money aside for going Mr. Beast on other people. If you could have any superpower, I already answered superpower questions. But if I could just have one, I don't know. Invincibility, I guess. / immortality, I don't know. It just sounds cool to be able to do weird crap with no consequences. Because then all you need is like a good machine gun and you could just completely change the world.
Somebody new sort of likes me.
Would love a reaction to Charlie Daniels' The Devil Went Down to Georgia. I mean, that's an overplayed song, I would think. Devil Went Down to Hip Hop was pretty good. What is my biggest accomplishment, in my opinion? I don't know. I really don't know. Do I plan on covering Steven Universe songs? There's only one that I'm considering covering. This is not a question, just know that I really thank you for your content and what you do. On the worst days, I watch one of your videos and it cheers me up. Thank you for making me a schemer. Cool, dude, I appreciate it. I'm glad that I bring light into your day. It's a big win for me. Play more Smash, probably will. It's easy to link YouTube to your PlayStation. Yeah, you can link your PlayStation straight to YouTube, but that's not the way I stream. I stream through Streamlabs, because it's way more controlled and professional. I don't want to just stream raw gameplay from my PlayStation. I'd probably just have to bring it in here and plug it into my capture card. Do I watch The Walking Dead? Not anymore. Who are your top 5 best masked people in films, hero or villain? That's too much work. And it's close to a favorites. What do I think of the latest season of Rick and Morty? I've only seen the first few, so I haven't caught up, but I liked the first few. Did you hear Scribecash diss on Screw yet? Everyone's always dissing Screw. No, I haven't. How much would I have to pay you to cover, or maybe I haven't. I don't know, there's so many disses. How much would I have to pay you to cover the song She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy? By that title, probably a lot. Favorite Spider-Man show? I never liked any of the Spider-Man shows. And it warped down again. Alright. Who was your Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter's overpowered characters? Do you mean like, I don't know. Street Fighter, I didn't play a lot. Mortal Kombat, I've always been fancy to Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Have a good night, William. Do I watch any anime? Not really. 2D or 3D games, they both have their pros and cons. Do I like rock? Yes. Did I see the GPS-3 Space Force launch? No. I don't think so. That sounds like a reference. Will you do a face reveal when you're able to quit your job? Well, that would No, I'm going to do a face reveal at 1,000,000 subs, which I might be able to quit my job before 1,000,000 subs, depending on other factors. Iron Man versus Batman. Who do you think would win? In a battle of raw power? Batman. In a battle of unique situations to overcome? Technical prowess? Iron Man. Good night, Mrs. Skeem. Alrighty. Pineapple on pizza. Pass. Well, it just broke me to the bottom again. I'm almost caught up, I think. Would I ever make a Rick and Morty Raph cipher? No. Warframe, not played it. Do you smoke weed and play games? I play games, but weed is not legal where I'm at. So no, I don't smoke weed. Top 3 movies all time? That sounds like a question with favorites, so no. Opinion on Linkin Park. I like old Linkin Park. I didn't like where they went near their end. If you could live forever, would you want to? If you can't be killed but still feel pain, go through, grow old, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Have a good night, Anna Howard. But would you rather be loved or feared? Both. I want people to be afraid of how much they love me. Ha ha! Nastiest food I've ever eaten? I do not know. Favorite song I've created? I don't do favorites. J-Stack, welcome to the stream hop. Michael Jackson or Elvis Presley? Michael Jackson on most days. J-Stack, I'm just now seeing that you were answering the questions. I like that. I wouldn't watch a Skeem face reveal. I like the mystery. And then don't watch it if it ever happens. You should have more subs. You're so entertaining. I agree. Headphones or earbuds? Depends on what I'm doing. But headphones have better sound quality if that's what you're asking. How much longer do I got in me? It depends on the context you're asking that question. Skeem, you got 2 doors to rooms. Both have $100 million at the end of the room. One door has Scorpion in it, and he got brainwashed into believing you killed his family. Door 2 got Hungry Lions. Then I'm not going into either room, because in both those situations I die and don't keep the dollars. Who's the best rapper of the new generation? Dead rappers count. Well, where are you cutting off the new generation then? You gotta define that. Spaghetti, bolognese, or carbonara? Carbonara. Band called Floater? No. Have fun with the boyfriend. Do I like listening to NLE Choppa music? Not really. What is my opinion of Coheed and Cambria? I don't have one. What's better, The Shining or Psycho? I prefer The Shining, but Psycho's probably a better film. Hybrid Theory was your first CD ever. It's not a bad way to start. Favorite ERBNY, Joker vs. Pennywise, because it's just the best one. Who do you think is a funnier character, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man or Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool? Obviously Ryan Reynolds. Iron Man's not trying to compete at that level of humor. When we get together, respect to Skeem for reading the comments. I know, it's killing me. Oof, but I'm almost to the bottom. When we get together and grill, what am I making for you and the family? Steak. I've seen your steak. You're making steak, J-Stack. Freddie Mercury or Michael Jackson? Freddie Mercury. What's your opinion on the Transformers movies, from the original one, from the 80s to the Bumblebee movie? I haven't seen most of them. Because I haven't liked the ones I've seen. You meant how long will the stream be? I don't know. How long you guys continue sending me questions will probably be a big determiner. Best current YouTube rapper besides myself. I don't really do bests or favorites very often. But names that come to mind, Quedeca, Crypt, Tom McDonald, he's more of a musician than a rapper, but 100 Kufis. Those are the first names that pop in my head. Hot chocolate or coffee depends on the mood and the time of day. Best rappers of the 2010s. Dead ones count. I don't think there's very many good rappers of the 2010s. But some of Logic's stuff came out during that time, and some of his stuff was okay. NF I've liked. Eminem's released some good stuff in that time. Kendrick Lamar, I think, has dropped some stuff in that time. I don't know if you're saying rappers who started in the 2010s, but if you're saying started in the 2010s, I'd have to look and see when people started. I think Chance the Rapper was probably releasing stuff during that time. And I like his stuff. So I don't know. I haven't liked a lot of modern rap. Will you ever give up on the polls and just make the YouTube underground rapper tier list? Well, that's more of just a meme at this point. McGuire's the one that wants it more than me. Best water bottle brand? That's a favorite. Least favorite? ERB and why? The same as everyone else's. Everyone has the same one. Hulk versus Jenner. Because it's terrible in every way. I think Nice Peter must have had way too much pull in that, because I know Nice Peter is pretty far on the left. It was just cringy, the whole thing. And it wasn't good either. Hamburger or hot dog? Depends on my mood, but usually hamburger. What do I think of Dax? Good musician, weird, not always good person. What are some ideas that you might roll out soon? I don't know. I don't really have that many right now. I'm just doing my thing day by day. Pedialyte or Gatorade with vodka for almost no hangover drink? Gatorade. I just drink water with alcohol instead, though. SpongeBob or Squidward? Depends. Would I rather live in the DC universe or the Marvel universe? Probably Marvel. It's a much happier place. If you had to move to another country, which one would you pick? Japan? Do you think Mercules is on his way to greatness? He might be, but he's not my style. Instrument I'm most comfortable playing? Piano. What are my honest opinions on the current events happening in America? They're reflective of the ignorance and stupidity of America. We Skeem. 2 more doors appeared. 3 got a very angry Mrs. Skeem door. 4 probably got what you go. I'll just go with very angry Mrs. Skeem. I've handled that. Most overrated musician. That's a long list. I'll just go with Billie Eilish for now. Are you a dog or a cat person? Dog. Hulk versus Jenner was so... Yes, it was. It was terrible. Nice Peter. His whole name means dick. Yes, it does. Hulk versus Jenner wasn't that bad in my opinion? Well, then your opinion's not very good. Is there a video game or movie that has made you cry, or at least really sad? I don't know. Some of them. Opinions on Watsky. Watsky is amazing in like every way. Tech9 or Eminem? Eminem. I wasn't a fan of Dracula versus Vlad either. No, I wasn't either. I reacted to that one. And that was an actual first time listening to the song. And I was like, ew, this is not good. Chicken nuggets or strips? Chicken strips. And dip in buffalo sauce and ranch. Unless we're talking Chick-fil-A nuggets. I'll take those before like anything. Can I send you a clip of one of my best Mortal Kombat combats? On Discord, I guess, but I don't know if I'll see it. Have I seen Tropic Thunder? And if you have, how legendary was Robert Downey Jr. in that movie? I saw Tropic Thunder in theaters when it came out. And I think that was probably in college. And a bunch of the girls we were with were super off-put by the movie. Not because of Robert Downey Jr., It was more Ben Stiller's role within the role Simple Jack that made them more upset, because a lot of them were like special education majors, so they were literally going to school to learn how to care for kids with special needs, so they felt a certain way. But Tropic Thunder is definitely one of my top 5 comedies of all time. I love everything about that movie. It understands comedy and just, yeah, that's a brilliant movie. And Robert Downey Jr. was fantastic. Do you think all of PewDiePie's subs are real? Well, of course they're not. People made tons of accounts during the legendary war against T-Series. Stupidest thing I've ever done? I do not really. There's a long list. SpongeBob versus Squidward depends on your age. The older you get, the more you feel like Squidward. Yep. What would you do if you had 90 million subscribers? Do a lot of giveaways. I'd be stoked. Scariest movie I ever saw. Yours was Blair Witch Project? That movie was dumb as hell. I think the first Conjuring is high on that list. It just has an eerie presence to it. The Joker is my favorite character over everyone. Okay. What would you like people to know about me? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Have you heard of the DRD is respect? No. Oh, Dr. Disrespect situation. Yeah, I don't care. I think he's probably in legal trouble for starting another streaming service and breaking contract with Twitch. That's my guess. Opinion on Mac Miller. Never really listened to him, so don't have one. Billie Eilish could get it, though. Get what? I guess I could guess that by your profile. What? Oh, never mind. Would you say you have a normal sneeze? Yes, I do. Have you ever played Ori and Blind Forest? Nope. Would I be open to it if it were purchased? Probably. I've played every game that you guys have bought for me so far. Have you ever regretted being as honest as you are? When I was younger and still cared about other people's thoughts on me a lot. J-Stack liked Dracula vs. Vlad. What would you do if you didn't do YouTube? I don't know. Music, like I've always been doing. Opinions on the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. The first one was good, and that's where that ends. Why do you hate anime? I've got nothing against anime. I just don't have time for it. I hate weeb culture, which is white people who are way obsessed with anime. That's what I hate. What mic would I recommend for a young musician or rapper? If you go into any description of any of my videos, I have links to Amazon pages that show all the equipment I use, and there's a special grouping that's equipment I recommend for new musicians. So click on there. I've got a whole list. Do I like the Tesla Cybertruck? I think it looks stupid. Conceptually, it's cool, though. What version of Joker do I prefer? Skeem, Joaquin Phoenix, Heath Ledger, or Jack Nicholson? Well, Joaquin Phoenix is a very different Joker. It's not really the Joker we know, but it's a very good acted role. Heath Ledger was better than Jack Nicholson, but they were also very different Jokers. But I'm more privy to Mark Hamill. Have I listened to Irish music? Yep. Beer or cider? Cider. What do I think about clickbaiters? Respect the grind, but don't ever click. You saw Blair Witch when you were 6 or 7? It should have still been stupid at that age. Session 9 is hands down the scariest. Maybe. The remake of Evil Dead was a bit startling, and Lights Out. I like those movies. Mustard or ketchup? Ketchup. If I had the option to make a Batman movie or Spider-Man movie, 1, which hero? 2, what do I want to play to bring back the character? I wouldn't make either. There's too many of them. Have I seen the movie Severance? I don't think so. What would you do first if you became owner of YouTube? Oh, God. First of all things, I would make the trending page purely based on CPM, clicks per, or not CPM. I would make the trending page based purely on traffic. That'd be the first thing I would change. There would be no manual adjustments possible for trending. Trending would just list what people in this category is being watched the most every hour on the hour. That would be my first change. There'd be a lot more changes, but that would be the first. I've not played Ace Combat. Why do you think Billie Eilish is so popular? She's pretty fake, and she's not even... Because people are ignorant and stupid. And she's easy to market as deep and strange. It's like the reason anyone else is popular. It's not usually talent. V from V for Vendetta or Deadpool? Deadpool. Jared Leto is trash. What holiday do I hate the most? Holidays are fine. I don't hate holidays. I know you like Mario, but are you a fan of Metroidvania style? Not really. Too. That's what Ori is. Yeah, too much exploration. Too little plow. Who do you think is Batman's strongest villain, as in raw power? Clayface, probably? That's the first one that comes to mind. What has my... No, I don't do favorites. Do I own a gun? Nope. I have in the past. Probably will again. Shotgun would be the preference. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? No. Joker. Jack Nicholson. What's your opinion on the Star Wars sequel trilogy? Visually great. They are the best acted Star Wars of any of the Star Wars we've gotten. So the best acting and the best visuals. And the stories are just tragic. They're very disjointed and frustrating. But those movies are entertaining as hell to watch. And anyone who doesn't think so is just thinking about it too much. The stories are bad. But those movies are so fun and pretty to watch. Any games you are looking forward to coming out? Just Cyberpunk, I think. Vanilla or chocolate? Chocolate. Will I ever go to VidCon in the future? I don't know what the logistics are of getting invited and stuff, but cons are like my favorite thing ever. So if I was able to go to one, I feel like I should just go to all local cons when this stupid disease is done, dressed as myself, and see if anyone knows who I am. That sounds fun. You don't think Joaquin Phoenix was the actual Joker? Yeah, probably not really. Hamill was amazing. Crypt made me curious. Does it ever get smelly in your mask? No, I'm a pretty hygienic person. I'm very particular about smells and hygiene, so no, it doesn't. Painkiller by Judas Priest, I don't really know it. What's my favorite thing about YouTube? I don't really do favorites, but money. If you had to collaborate with one mainstream artist, rapper, rock, who would you collaborate with? I don't know, Eminem, because it would give me the most clout. Do you plan on making any gaming content? I do. I've got tons of gaming content on my channel. What Batman villain would I hang out with? The Joker. We'd have a lot in common. If we're talking animated Jokers, Hamill, movie Jokers, Nicholson. No, I think Ledger was better than Jack Nicholson. What genre of music could you... I feel like people have tried to rewrite history on that. Like, younger people who weren't around when the original Batman came out tend to say, oh, Jack Nicholson was better. I feel like it's a hipster thing to say, but Heath Ledger was clearly and undeniably a much more provocative and entertaining character. What genre of music could you never try to make music with? Country. I hate country. I could make it, but I just hate it. If you could live the life of a movie or video game character, who would it be? I don't know, I'd just live as Superman, because Superman would have a dope-ass life. Do you think Biden or Trump should be president? Neither option would be great, but if you're forcing me to choose between one or the other, it depends on the day. I really do not like either of them, though. What is your opinion on V for Vendetta? Overrated. I'm not as big on it as other people. Thought on Zack Snyder's Batman. Not a fan. Not a fan. If ERB made a real video about their battles, which person would you impersonate and why? And would you accept defeat? I don't know what this question is. A real video about their battles. Which person would you... Oh, like, would I be... I don't get it. Are you saying would I be Lloyd or Peter? Because they've played each other themselves in those... But I don't understand that question, so I'm moving on. Fallout or Skyrim? Probably Skyrim, but Fallout on other days. Japanese or Chinese cuisine? Depends on my mood. I love them both. Are there any other franchises that you feel got ruined by the fan base, similar to something like Star Wars fan base? Star Wars is the biggest example that comes to mind. I'm sure there's other ones, but Star Wars is the main one that comes to mind. That fan base just ruins a lot of it. What's your answer to the basic trolley problem, i.e. save more people but actively sacrifice one or do nothing and let the course continue? I go Spock with it. You go logic. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. Would you rather go 50 years in the past or future? Let's see, 50 years in the past, what is it, 2020? That puts you to 1970. 1970 had all that crap. I think I'd want to go further back than 1970, so I'd go 50 years forward. Tarantino or Spielberg? Well, there was a day when it would have been Spielberg, but these days, Tarantino. Yeah, Jason Todd is a pretty dead meme, but he still somewhat lives. Do I own cryptocurrency? No. Do I believe any conspiracy theories? I don't think so. If you could appear with the Sidemen, Team 10, FaZe, Click, or the Hype House, who would you choose? I have no fucking clue who any of those people are. Go without technology for a week or without family for a day? Hell, I don't see my family for a day quite a bit, so I guess we're missing family for a day. How easy is it to offend you? Good luck. I don't get offended. Have you played any of the Arkham games? Yes, I like them. Byrons. If I could meet any musician, who would I meet? I don't know. Do your parents know about the dressing up? Yeah, they know. Would you listen to Rustage and his anime rap battles? Maybe, I don't know. Mark Hamill's name spells Arkham. Take the last 3 letters, blah, blah, blah. Okay. If you were hit up to play Ghostface or Jason Todd, who you picking? I'd prefer Ghostface, but probably Jason Todd just because it would get me more clout. When you play Bethesda game, do you play it heavily modded, lightly modded, or vanilla? I play it vanilla first, all the way through, and do like every side campaign that I can. Vanilla. Then I mod the shit out of it. What YouTuber do you look up to? I don't look up to YouTubers, to be honest. I don't really look up to many people at all. Departed or Goodfellas? Probably The Departed. Do you watch reviews on video games or just buy on instinct? Depends on the game. Are you going to play Hollow Knight? I don't know. How do you feel about them forcing a sexuality on SpongeBob, even when the creator said he wasn't that sexuality? I don't think they forced it on him. The tweet that everyone says was Nickelodeon outing SpongeBob was pretty vague. And they said members of the LGBTQ and their like champions or supporters or whatever, and SpongeBob was pictured. I first of all don't think Nickelodeon was making an actual claim that SpongeBob was gay. They just saw him as someone who would be friendly to that community and can be a symbol for that community, especially if he is, and because he is indeed asexual, since that's been made very clear many times. Because what it was back in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, a bunch of Christian radicals were trying to get on Steve Hildenberg and the whole production for pushing the gay agenda on young Christian boys. And then Steven Hildenberg was like, no, he's asexual. Get over yourself. So I don't think Nickelodeon was making a statement on SpongeBob's sexuality. I got more annoyed at the people acting like they were. And Nickelodeon was just trying to get attention because they're fading from relevancy. Tupac, Biggie Small. I prefer Tupac. Do you believe the moon landing was a hoax? If so, do you believe in aliens? Well, no, the moon landing wasn't a hoax, and that's not a system of belief. I think you should work on the verbiage there. I feel like when you say, do you believe something, there's an implication there that you're requesting faith. You don't have to have faith to know that the moon landing happened. So I don't believe in the moon landing. I have knowledge of the moon landing. See the difference there? Do I believe in aliens? Now that's an actual belief system. I don't doubt that there could be, but I don't think they've ever been here. Let's see. Don't do favorites. Doing fine with the quarantine. Hottest Mortal Kombat character, guys included, bro. I don't know. They change every game. Who's the hotties? Probably Cage's wife. Still. If I could be in a battle, which character would you impersonate and why? Oh, okay. I would... Ghostface is one I would like to do, because, you know, the mask and everything. Or The Mask, like Jim Carrey's character, The Mask, would be a dope one to play. Those are the first two that come to mind. I am not kissing ass. You are seriously underrated. I'm excited to see what your future journey is like. I'm hoping for great things for you and your fam. Me too. Thanks, AJ. The Rock or Statham? Jason Statham if the movie is serious. The Rock if the movie is goofy. Tarantino or Kevin Smith? Tarantino. If you've seen them, what's your opinion on all the Jurassic Park sequels? They've all been bad. I've seen all of them, and I've enjoyed all of them, and they're all terrible. I still enjoy them, but they're crap after the first one. Beach, city, or countryside? Beach. With a city. City on the beach. West Coast. What's up? Who is your biggest inspiration when it comes to making your own music? I really don't know. Just bands I've listened to over the years, probably. Which is mostly alternative rock bands. Have I ever seen snow in real life? Well, yeah. I've lived in Colorado. Plenty of snow. And where I live, it snows now. If you made another official music video, which song would you do it for? Dreams. I want to make a music video for Dreams. Fallout or Elder Scrolls. We went to that one earlier. Red tape, mean or symbolize. That's on my video, Who is We Skeem. You can YouTube search Who is We Skeem. You can erase your memory to one video game and replay it in brand new. Which would it be? Ooh. Luckily, I've done that naturally through memory loss for a lot of games. But a game that I would want to experience for the first time the most is Ocarina of Time. GTA is better than Saints Row. What popular YouTube video made by another creator do you wish you made? None, because I could make the same video. It doesn't mean that it would be popular on my channel. That's not how it works. Was about to go to sleep, but thought of this. How important is exercising / working out to you? And if so, it's important to me because of my anxiety. And so I try really hard to be consistent with it. Otherwise, my anxiety gets worse. How would you feel to be reviewed by No Life Shack? I mean, I would like the exposure. So that'd be cool. But it wouldn't be like oh my god, I'm so freaked out and honored and care about what No Life Shack thinks of me. That's just not in my personality. I don't really care what anyone thinks of me. So I watch reaction videos because I just enjoy seeing what people have to say. But a larger channel or a smaller channel doing a reaction to me doesn't get much of a bigger thought to me. I actually get more curious about people who I know reacting to my stuff than people who I don't. And I don't know No Life Shack, but I would be stoked for the exposure and then for what other people thought of it. I'd be curious what he thought. Is We Scheme you or the baby or whatever? I'm We Scheme. We Scheme with 2 E's is the baby. Jimmy Neutron or Dexter's Lab? Dexter's Lab most of the time. Do I tend to drive over the speed limit? I drive 10% over this post the speed limit, because then you'll never get a ticket, but you still get to drive over the speed limit so you don't go crazy. Bye, Tyler. Thoughts on flat tards? Oh, flat earth people? I just find them cute in a stupid way. When you were a kid, who was your first cartoon or celebrity crush? Celebrity crush? Britney Spears. She's how I realized that I liked ladies. If I was to be contacted by WWE or Epic Rap Battles to be in 7 battles for ERB or 4 matches WWE. ERB. I'm picking ERB. Any instruments you'd be interested in learning? Violin. Thought about my country right now. People are dumb. Do you often dress as fancy as you do in the videos? Not often, but I do. If you could do an ERB, otherwise I wouldn't have the clothes, right? If you could do an ERB, who would you want to play the role of? Man, this is a common question. I don't know, lots of different masked characters that I would want to be. Spider-Man is another big one that I didn't mention last time. Opinion on KSI. He makes music that young people like. It's not for me. David Carter, blah, blah, blah. Will you do reactions? Not on this stream, if that's what you're asking. What's your opinion on offensive humor? Do you think it's okay to joke about something as long as it's a joke and people are too sensitive, or do you think offensive humor is bad? Everything should be joked about. And things that are more serious, even more so, need to be joked about to ground people. I don't think offensive humor should ever be frowned upon. Get bad with it. The more offensive, the better. People need to be jarred and shaken up sometimes. Was you a fan of the Resident Evil franchise? If so, what story game? I liked Resident Evil 4. not the whole franchise. But I just got part 2, the remasters, so we'll be playing that, I'm sure. Good night again, Rins. Give us your favorite YouTube video. Just maybe put some views if it's a niche thingy. Like, favorite one I've made? I don't know what my favorite one I've made is. I've made some weird ones. Let's see. Skeem. I made this one, which not very many people have seen. I spend 14 minutes...
welcome to another edition of We Stream!
Watching...
I'd also like to mention that...
Paint dry. I react to paint drying for 14 minutes. That's a gem. And then... This Whack-Ass Rappers 2 reaction is another gem. So I would recommend those 2 videos from my channel for little-known videos that are fantastic. Okay. See ya, cool dude. Did you find the 2E... Oh, God. That damn stream. If I had the power to resurrect people, which dead artist would I bring back first? It's just dead artist? Then Chester Bennington. What's my stance on abortion? Man, we getting those political ones. I don't like emotional politics, so I take abortion from a non-emotional perspective. We define life, or we should define life the same way that we define death. Death is when the brain ceases to work. Brainwave activity is done. So I think we should define life as the brain works. Brainwave activity exists. Right now we abort kids who feel pain and dream, and that's super barbaric and fucked up and just ignorant. Like, ignorant beyond all get out. The laws were created originally before we knew better, and now we know better and we're still doing it. It's pretty disgusting. So I think once you have brainwave activity, you're done. And if you're so irresponsible that you don't even know you're pregnant, up to the point that your baby has brainwave activity, which is usually about 2 months in, then it's your own damn fault, and we should revamp adoption agencies to be better or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think once you have brainwave activity, you have the right to be alive because you're alive. Just like when you don't have brainwave activity, you're dead. Would I rather have lunch and spend a day listening to Trump talk, or lunch and spend a day listening to Biden talk? Trump, because he's way more entertaining and he's at least coherent. If I was a girl, would I rather be pregnant by Sub-Zero or Scorpion, but their power is how their pee-pee would feel? Then Sub-Zero. I mean, not Sub-Zero. Scorpion. Give me that hot pee-pee. Have I ever tried meditation? Sort of. Doesn't really work. Brain goes too fast. Can I react to... No. Have I heard about the Shane Dawson drama? Yeah, and I don't care. Can you make another video, another drawing with singing video? I've done more than 2. You said love the 2 I've done. I've done Kim Possible, Moana, Maui, and Little Mermaid, Ariel. So I've done 4. I've done 4 of those. And I have a 5th one coming out tomorrow night, but there's no singing in it. I did something different with the music. Before I go, I just wanted to say thanks for being yourself and not trying to be something you are not. Keep up the good work, brother. Thanks, David. What kind of fans do you think you have, and why do you think they like your music? So you're talking my music fans? Because I think my music fans and channel fans are not always the same. If you're talking music fans, then just people that probably deal with ostracization, so they're not usually popular, and they're a bit odd, probably introspective, probably rather intelligent. That would be most likely my fan base. Opinions on I Swallow Cum? I have no idea what that is. Was there a YouTube video you watched one day that made you decide, I'm going to do YouTube today? No, because the first time I did a YouTube channel was when, like, nobody was on YouTube. So, no. The closest to that was, there were some things that Crip did, and some live streams that Crip did, that made me want to get into rapping in a serious capacity, which kind of helped move towards We Skeem. Indiana does not have any good food. Someone asked about food that I love or appall. I guess the only thing I love is state fair food, even though it's like horrendous for you, and I appall everything else. Have I ever done a stream drunk before? Legend, you're new around here, aren't you? How did I get so cool? Well, I'm not, but yeah. Would you rather be abnormally tall or abnormally strong? Abnormally strong. Why am I so awesome? I'm probably not. Age from the neck up or the neck down? That's a tough one. I don't know. Where did I get the mask? I have several masks. Usually Party City in bulk or Amazon. What do you think about the role of religion in society? Do you think it generally does more harm or good? Depends on what role it manifests. When religion is in society apolitically, like it's not a political force in the society, it's just ingrained into the culture, it's usually very, very positive. When religion is ingrained into the politics of a society, it's usually very, very negative. That's kind of the separation there. Do you consider yourself a liberal or conservative? The answer to that question is no. Cyriac, no, I have not. First brainwave activity begins at 5 to 6 weeks, right? It can, but first, like, consistently measurable is closer to 8 weeks. What inspired me to do YouTube? I've been doing entertainment stuff my whole life, so that's a long story. I like the Skeem dude. I am a newer sub. Well, welcome, legend. That explains why you didn't know about the drunk streams. Should we make AI that is conscious or avoid it at all costs? I don't have an opinion. My first mask was from Amazon. Has We Skeem spoke his first word yet? Not really. He says hi sporadically and sort of makes mama sounds, but I don't think he understands what he's saying. Hey, a new member. Welcome to the cult. It's not a cult. And I'm going to say that in auto-tune soon. Just wait for it. How did you act in your youthful stages? A lot different. That's another story for another time. What is your favorite type of calzone? Is that a Parks and Recreation reference? Back to Joy's question about youthful stages. I think I'm going to make an entire album that's going to be my life story.
Welcome to the cult. It's not a cult. I swear.
There it is. My life story in music form, sort of. Would I rather have infinite pizza or infinite donuts? Infinite pizza, for sure. He gives no fucks and answers my question. I hate pansy-ass streamers who don't answer questions. It's a good call, legend. Trippy J, yo, Skeem, I'm about to start making hella in real-life videos now. I finally found my purpose, brah. I'll be looking forward to seeing them, Trippy J. Do you like Gravity Falls? I don't really watch it, but it seems okay. What's my opinion on YouTube drama? Sometimes I'll peek at it just to entertain myself, but it's stupid. Favorite type of music to make? Depends on my mood. Vegeta Skeem is not what it's going to be. We should avoid AI. Alright. Hey Skeem, in a vegetative state, and got to see We Skeem grow up. Would you want your wife to pull the plug? wait, I'm conscious and get to see him grow up? Or it's after I saw him grow up? I'm not sure what you're saying. Hey, Skeem, and everyone else. Hope everyone's doing well. Hooray. Do you think cancel culture helps move forward right of people? Helps move forward right of people? What? I have no idea what you're saying, Sophie, but cancel culture is about as inane and stupid as anything can get. How do you come up with a good rapper name? I don't know. Do you speak any other languages? No, I used to speak Spanish pretty well, but not anymore. Do you ever get nervous when you're getting ready to record a video? Not really. Do y'all subscribe to playing Mozart to Wii Skeem and things of that nature? No, because they're scientifically proven not to do anything. If you want your child to be more intelligent, you just have to speak to them like a person instead of like a baby. Do you like jazz? Live. Apologize for not knowing there are 4 drawing and singing videos? Hey, don't apologize, just go watch them. You probably have more masks than me? I don't know. Maybe. I've got quite a few. Not just Skeem masks. Skeem, would you rather get $5 million a month but donate half to charity, or get $1 million a week but half your money comes from charity? Well, $5 million a month and donate half to charity, obviously. That would be way better. What's the most useful parenting tip you have? Keep the child alive. You need to try poutine. Okay. Would you ever consider becoming a vegetarian? No. Do you think religion can be replaced? Depends on what you mean by replaced, but usually the answer is probably. From what I understand, most Americans might call it wet fries or something of that gross matter. Wet fries? What the fuck is a wet fry? So, ugh. What would you rather see in technological advancement? Nanotechnology for medical purposes, or robotic servants that can achieve greater things? Well, in the name of the scientists from Futurama, when they created the robots, can you fuck it? Or was that... No, that was Robot Chicken, not Futurama. That would be the key question. Robotic servants, are they also sex servants? And I mean that in more of a literal way. Not like in just a joke, because a lot of the crime in the world has to do with sex trafficking and stuff like that. And if you actually had a valid, usable human replacement robot for that, you'd actually taper off a lot of sex trafficking, which is a horrible, horrible thing. And in that case, it depends on how strong the nanotechnology is. But I might go with robot servants. So I don't know. Nanotechnology is interesting as well. Do I have any sponsorships? Nope. Probably won't for a while either, because I don't really filter myself. So it has to be at the point that I'd make a sponsor a lot of money that they'll touch my level of offensive. Which superhero power would you want? I've already talked about superhero powers on this stream. Damn it, I want this to be a cult. If you order some merch, can you and your wife sign it? And your kid would also be cool to have some signed merch while your channel is still under 100K. Yeah, I mean, I have some signed merch on my website, WeSkeem.com. I have signed CDs and signed masks. That's the easiest way to get signed merch. If you want me to sign like a t-shirt or something, or a hat, then you need to ship it to my P.O. box, which is in my description, and tell me your address to sign and mail it back to you. But either way, yeah, that's fine. There's ways. Glad I give you a lot of entertainment, Gerhard, however you say your name, Mr. Schneider. I really appreciate you for becoming a member and for following the same logic I do. If I'm getting entertainment out of it, I like to pay for it. I pay money to a lot of other content creators who I frequent watching, because that's how I feel about it. I don't think everyone needs to feel that way, but that's just how I am. I like to pay entertainers. So I appreciate you. Is the child alive? Yes, the child's alive. Boy, oh boy, how far behind am I? You guys like asking some questions. How do you feel to know that in an alternate version of you is a Karen? I don't really subscribe to the idea of infinite alternate realities. The science really isn't there. Do I like playing piano? Yes. What do you think causes rich guys like Jeff Bezos to hoard so much wealth and rarely give any money to a good cause? I mean, that's not true. Bill Gates is a huge philanthropist. You have to realize they're not just hoarding stacks of money in the bank. Most of their net worth is in investment. You can't cash it out. Otherwise, it's not worth anything anymore. And the other thing is, if they don't have that kind of powerhouse of money, they're not able to invest back into their own company to make new technology. I think people thinking about the top 0.1% or the top 1% really don't understand global economics when they think these people just have these fat stacks of Benjamins in the bank they don't want to share. Most of their liquid assets are spent on charity because the tax would kill them anyway. So I think your premise is inaccurate there. I don't think that's the reality. Thoughts on furries? I don't have any. We do not call it wet fries. We call it gravy Jesus. I've not heard of that either. You gotta go. Goodbye. Where the fuck? American exceptionalism. I don't have an opinion. What's the one thing you hate the most? And is there one person you hate the most? No, but stupidity in general is what I hate. Do you hunt or target shoot? Or would the shotgun mostly be for defense? It would be for defense, but I don't mind going to the shooting range, but I'm not much of a hunter. If technology reached the point of self-awareness and having emotions, would using that technology be the same as slavery? I don't know. I would say no. Do you like playing the piano? Yes. If I ever return to YouTube, I'm going to do a Wii Skeem parody. I have the mask but need the right red tape. Well, Amazon has it. If I ever played Until Dawn, yes. I never really hear you say anything offensive in your vids. Well, keep watching. Everything's offensive today anyway. Will you become a cult leader? I guess I am. Do you have a full spandex suit or just mask and gloves? It's a full suit. Do you think you'll ever do an unboxing fan mail series? I think I need more fan mail. You said it's a good way to get free stuff. It's kind of like, how do you start without the fan mail? But I would enjoy doing that. I very seldom get mail though. Would you rather take a hook from prime Mike Tyson or a drop kick an 8-year-old? 8-year-olds getting drop kicked. I'm not getting killed by Tyson. You are a good channel, no filter. Channel is laid back and cool. 100K on the way. I hope so. We were hoping for 100,000 by the end of 2020. Then Boomer Doomer happened, so it's seeming very, very, very unlikely. But we should bounce back next year. We'll see what happens. Do you feel like a superhero when you put on your suit? No. Is math related to science? Depending on the branch of science, yes. Do you have a prom or graduation song? What were they? I don't remember. Just say Gary. Not Gary. So Jerry? Jerry. Fair pay for fair work. You pay $50 for a hooker, and you came after 5 minutes, but you feel it's not fair to pay a guy that made you laugh for hours. I mean, the logic's there. The logic is there. Would you rather be a cult leader with thousands of schemers in your very same mask kneeling before you, or a cult president? I don't know, man. What's your next planned purchase for the channel? I don't have one right at this moment. We're really on maintenance costs right now. I think if I really thought about it, there's probably a couple things I've talked to Mrs. Skeem about. They're just not in the forefront of my mind right now. Skeem, if you were in a vegetative state and got to see... I thought I saw this. Oh, so it's after I got to see him grow up. I mean, it really depends on what you mean by vegetative state. If I'm conscious, then don't pull the plug. But if I'm dead, then stop keeping my organs alive, I guess. How are you? I'm good. Are you yourself religious? Not really. I don't like religion very much. We go to church and stuff sometimes, and I've been involved in church. My own personal beliefs, I see the value of the church in the community and the belief structure. I'm kind of an agnostic Christian is how I describe it. My belief system's kind of complicated, but I don't think religion in many forms is good. Like, it's very difficult for me to find any church I'm willing to go to because of that. So it's kind of a yes and no. Streaming or filming? Streaming, less work. Do you collect anything like old coins?
Somebody
or anything
new sort
else?
of likes me.
I collect knives, like pocket knives, or I used to anyway. Pokemon cards are better. Can you play Megalovania? Maybe. Do you like playing piano? Why do I keep getting asked that? Yes, I do. Do you think the mask helps you give out your real opinion? Probably, but I kind of did that before anyway. Have you played the Witcher games? I've not seen the Netflix adaptation. I've played Witcher 3, and I'm like, I just hope you never forget us OG subs in the future Skeem. I forget everything, Legend, so I probably will forget, but if you stick around the whole time, I'll continually know who you are. Why is the public education system in North American countries so worthless? Politics. What song do you want played at your funeral? I don't really want to think about my funeral. I just hope everyone has a good time and thinks that I did good while I was alive. They could play what they want to listen to. Will you ever forget me if you get 1 million subs? I don't know, it depends how long it took me to get 1 million subs and if you've still been around, but memory loss, man. What thing about science do you find the most interesting? I have no idea. Science is strange. How did you meet your wife? And how long have you been together? We met in college and we've been together like, I don't know, 10, 11 years. 10 years. Jason Todd, most teachers don't give a shit. Do you think Skeem will be smarter since you talk to him normally? Who knows? A lot of it's genetics. And we'll see how he turns out. There are exceptions, but the system isn't that bad, but it doesn't work unless teachers want it to. Yeah, Sophie, that's pretty much what happened. Good night, Simone. About religion, maybe go watch some George Carlin. Tough topic, to be honest, but yeah. George Carlin's got a lot wrong in his critique on religion, but I understand where he's coming from. Anyone, again, this is a common theme I'll always talk about. Anyone that holds an extreme viewpoint and asserts that the other side is completely wrong is not speaking truthfully. How annoyed were you about the knife in the ASMR vid? Not very. It just wouldn't pop out, and then it did, and it was fine. What do you think of the Karen situation in the world? It's always been there. I'm just enjoying that we're filming them now. Don't worry about giving stuff away. No, I like giving stuff away. It's fun. Giveaways are fun. The idea that we were created in the image of a perfect being makes no sense. We are far from perfect, and our planet is too. Everything has to kill to survive. It's kind of awful. I think the logic is flawed there. That's not really... Yeah, nothing really makes sense there. Because you're taking Judeo-Christianity, right? If you're saying created in the image of a perfect God, that's Judeo-Christian gods, or Jews and Christians. In the same breath, essentially, that is uttered, it is saying that the world became corrupted by sin. So, actually, it would make perfect sense by the premise that's been created. So, I'm not trying to be an apologist or advocate for what you should or shouldn't believe, but that's a really stupid argument, Tyson, to be frank, because in the source material you're trying to dismiss, they clearly say that it started as something that was supposed to be good, and it's shit now. And that very much is true, if that's what we're looking at. Do you ever think about your subscribers when you're not doing anything YouTube related? Like individually? No, but I think about the channel constantly. I mean, some subscribers I have because of certain stories, but can you live in a video game for 1 week, but once the week is over, you get to have everything that you came back? What real world? Oh, what game are you picking? I don't know. Probably one of those stupid mobile games where you just get millions of dollars with zero risk. What is your favorite part of making videos? Seeing what people think about them. And coming up with concepts. Do you know any YouTubers that talk shit about you? Do you know of any YouTubers that talk shit about you? Yeah. But what's your point? How do you feel about the latest UFO confirmations by declassified documents? Do you think religions have been disproven, or that they're like... Adam, I think you're very strongly misunderstanding the UFO confirmations that have been declassified. UFO is just an unidentified flying object. It's far more likely that the objects identified were test subjects of differing militaries and other things like that. It's not at all even slightly feasible that those are extraterrestrial. So I really don't see where you're going with that. If you think about the funeral, go out with the middle finger with a bang, play My Way, sung by the guy who didn't write the song, and let them put... Yeah. Would you want zombie apocalypse, robot takeover, alien invasion, or vampire virus? Zombies. I have a good question an atheist asked me once about Christ's return to Earth. What about people who may be on other planets? Would they not die then? What do you mean, would they not die? I don't understand the question. Do you associate colors with subjects at the school? Math is red, science is green. No, I do not. I'm a Christian, but I don't shove my beliefs down people's throats, nor do I hate those who have different views than me. That's a good way to live. Do you think the world would be better if everyone was honest, or worse if everyone was honest? Both. Better in some ways, worse in others. iPhone or Galaxy? Probably iPhone most often. Will you do auto-tune after 1 million subs? I mean, I'm doing auto-tune now. We'll see. My opinion on religion is sort of mixed. For example, today a man told me he lost his wife last week, but he was able to easily cope because he will see her again. But on the other hand, the Crusades. Well, the Crusades were a long-ass time ago. As a really rudimentary view on religion. Do you watch sports? Yes, I do. Honesty wouldn't be a problem if people weren't shitty. Well, people are shitty. Do I breathe? Sometimes. Christians believe we were made in the image of a perfect being, not that humans and other creatures are perfect. Yeah, correct. Screw you, Cam. I see what you did there. Read about Gnosticism. No, thanks. What's your opinion on everybody starting podcasts on YouTube? I don't know. This is kind of a podcast, isn't it? Would it surprise you to know that I am jealous of your ability to perform for an audience? No, a lot of people get stage fright and don't know how they would perform for an audience. So I can understand jealousy in that, I suppose. And that perfect being created the world and the universe, right? This creator doesn't sound nice. Maybe isn't who he says he is. Again, Tyson, you're just very firmly misunderstanding theology. This is a common issue with people who are like aggressively anti-religious, is they cherry pick bits and pieces of religion without actually understanding the premise of that religion to try to say that this God or this other creature is this bad guy or whatever. It doesn't hold up if you understand the theology. If you want to debunk religious theology or theism in general, there are non-emotional, very effective ways of pointing out flaws. But emotional arguments about evil gods or the world is flawed, so how could this... It's so petty, elementary, and just a bad argument in every single plausible way when you actually understand theology. Like how it says God would destroy the current earth and remake a new, essentially everyone would die after Christ's return. Yes, well, I mean, that's not necessarily what it says. if you're talking about the Christian Bible, it's very hazy as to what happens in the end times, and it's kind of contradictory too. And it is specifically only speaking to what happens to the creation on this planet. It never confirms nor denies other creations in other planets. So it's really not relevant to other planets. Within Christian theism, technically, there could exist several planets where the creations didn't fuck up, and those planets are already perfect and will never need that cleansing, so to speak. So it's really, the question doesn't really bear relevance to the actual religion that you're relating it to. Would you rather tell a truthful hurt or a helpful lie? Helpful lie. What are your thoughts on, well, actually it depends. Hurtful truth doesn't sound like it would lead to anything good. If you're talking about temporarily hurtful, but then later helpful, then I'll go with the truth. What are your thoughts on Wee Lobster? He seems wired. I think he meant weird, but also a jackass. Anyway, what's your thoughts? I don't know. He's a strange person. Lobster. My view is a bit bigger than that, but I ran out of space to time. Do you ever regret starting this YouTube channel? No. I usually don't do things without a lot of thought and consideration as to what might happen, so I try to keep my regrets list short. Pick a YouTube rapper that you want on a song with you. For me, Quedeca and Crypt. Oh, for you it'd be Quedeca and Crypt. I don't know. Tom McDonald would be fun. Watsky, if he's still considered a YouTube rapper. Do you believe the tearing down of statues or rewriting of definitions in the dictionary to be progress or something bad? Statues, oftentimes, I don't think statues should be torn down. I think they should be moved. Like, a public square might not want to have a bad image in it that represents a bad time. So I don't think you should tear down the statue. Maybe add some educational placards as to why this isn't something to be admired, or move it to like a museum. And that goes even for statues of like dictators and stuff. I'd rather they be preserved. I like history, but I don't think they should stay where they are necessarily. Changing definitions in the dictionary should only happen through natural word etymology, not due to agenda. If it's happening just because natural progression of speech, sure, but when it's happening because of political agendas, it's regressive, not progressive. Ultimate goal for YouTube, to stop working myself. First goal was for Mrs. Skeem not to work. We've checked that box if everything keeps going well. And the next would be for me not to work. Opinion on tattoos? They're fine. I like them. Chunky or smooth peanut butter? Depends what I'm putting it on. The way I see it, I may be Christian, but blah, blah, blah. Okay, still talking about that. Do you think Nikola Tesla was ahead of his time? Why did we not see his technology used worldwide even today? I mean, most inventors are ahead of their time, and he just wasn't good at marketing it, and he wanted to give it away for free, which usually doesn't help progress investors to help you create something if you say there's no money in it. How long could you stand being in quarantine? Forever. Thoughts on Chuck E. Cheese going bankrupt? It was only a matter of time. I just hope to God that GameStop goes out soon enough. What did I do before YouTube? Different YouTube and the same job I have now alongside with YouTube. Firstly, I apologize for starting a religious tangent, but now interested, are you in mythologies like the Norse or the Greeks? I mean, they're semi-interesting. I've studied mostly modern religions from the world. What I don't understand is, when did we switch from I hate you because of you to I don't like you because you are part of a group I hate? We never switched. We've always been that way. As part of, like, biological survival skills, right? We've evolved into social groups. Social groups cling to other social groups for survivals. So social groups that are different from our own are naturally seen as a threat by the brain. That's why ignorance breeds hate. It's actually a biological process, not a human deliberately created one. So that's just the human condition. Is YouTube your dream job? Being an entertainer is my dream job, so YouTube fits into that. Do I believe in the Illuminati? Not as it's defined by conspiracy theorists, but the observable, quote-unquote, Illuminati is real, which is just the people who control everything, but you can clearly see who does. It's not a conspiracy. Nothing against the idea of religion. I think it's great that it can help people. Really, it's just a work of fiction. I mean, can you tell me who the author is? I mean, I could tell you all the people that wrote each thing and their credentials, whether they're viable or not. I mean, again, none of that is a good argument. There are good arguments against religion. That's just not it. And I mean, say that with the work of fiction, can you tell me who the author is? You would just say that they were discovering God the same way a scientist discovers science and writing down their discoveries. I mean, there's nothing there. Sounds like a lot of work, toxic, blah, blah, blah. That exists. What kind of president do you think is needed in the United States? It's not really the president that we need. It's limited terms in Congress and cleaning house of all of that. The president is just a placeholder, more or less. Pickled eggs? No. What community on YouTube do you think is the most toxic? That's a long list, but generally the beauty community and then anything on the far left are the most toxic. Do you mind snakes or spiders? They're fine, but spiders need to stay outside. What's my beef with GameStop? Anyone with a brain should very much dislike GameStop. A brain and a moral compass, anyway. Was my earlier career YouTube music, or I've had a lot of different entertainment gigs, and then my day job. Chuck E. Cheese closed down. Do you think it would be cool if they opened a Five Nights at Freddy themed pizza place? I think it wouldn't last very long, but it'd be a cool gimmick while it lasted. Why do you think people still don't say YouTube can be a job, yet YouTubers make more than college doctors and lawyers? Jealousy, generally. And then the doubt of sustainability of YouTube, which does still remain to be seen. Does Mrs. Skeem like not having to work? Well, her last day is Friday, and she's very excited for that. We've always been like that, hence why slavery existed. Yeah, exactly. How do you think Mrs. Skeem did on the kitchen? Yeah, she installed the hardware. It looks great. Can you grow proper facial hair, and do you think you look good with it? Well, I had a beard for a long time. I shaved it recently because Skeem doesn't like it. Are we in the Matrix? No. Will you ever do a house tour? Probably not. Did Mrs. Skeem use any of the recipes from the Discord? I'm not sure. Maybe. You think you'll ever do a face reveal if I get 1 million subscribers? Have you listened to the family-friendly Noose song? No. Can I ask a question? You just did. Don't forget about the laundry. That was last night, and I definitely forgot. Why do you think news media hates the truth and censors people who don't believe their bullshit propaganda? I don't think it's that deep. I think news media likes making money, and they do whatever they can to make money, and most people who get into journalism are generally politically on the left, so they try to put their spin on things to support their own personal emotional agenda. So it's just a bunch of people who are just people. It's not like a big conspiracy. It's people who are like, I believe in this, so I'm going to make sure my reporting helps push this, because so many people are blinded by what they believe as being the absolute truth over everything without considering anything else. So I don't think it's like this big conspiracy. I think the media wants money, so they push hot button items that make money, and they generally geared towards the political left because that's just people who naturally gravitate towards journalism. What kind of president do you need? Maybe one that can actually unite his people under one banner. Shame that will never happen again. Now it's all just memes and child trafficking, apparently. Do you like Khan? Yeah, he's good. GameStop is a shitty company. Yes, they are. You see a spider on your desk, you have an empty glass and some useless paper next to you. Do you squish it with the paper or bring it outside the house and free it? If I have the time, I'm probably just going to free it because the spider will eat the bugs that I don't want in the house. Where did you first come up with the whole Skeem mask and suit? I have a video called Who is Skeem where I describe that in better detail. What's the greatest kind of knot that you could tie with ease? Pfft, a shoelace. In terms of GameStop, I hate the company, but the employees working there are usually pretty chill. Sometimes. Closed-mindedness is one of the biggest problems in American society. Yeah. How do you feel about certain shows that display mental health as a circus and entertainment, such as Dr. Phil and others? I find it entertaining, honestly. I don't think it's... I think that sort of stuff isn't that harmful compared to a lot of other stuff that is harmful towards mental health issues in the U.S. CNN worst news station? It's on the list. CNN, Fox is not much better. They're just on the other side. Those are my two worst news stations, are Fox and CNN. Would you rather fight Kotal Khan or Shao Kahn? Neither. Skeem, you get $1 million. What am I doing? Paying off any debt that I have and investing the rest. Do you think if communist states hadn't been challenged by Western's power, do you think they could have ever become healthy first world country? No, communism only works when people are decent, and I don't believe any large society of people are decent. I think if you have a very small community, communism and socialism works. Once you get hundreds and thousands and millions of people, it just won't work. Human greed and everything just won't allow it to. Xbox or PlayStation based on cosmetics? On cosmetics, they're both horrible if you're talking about the new ones, like the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series, whatever. They all look terrible. Any planned vacations for you and the family after Boomer Doomer is over? No. Is it pronounced data or data? I haven't really looked into it. I don't know. Would you get a VR set? Maybe. If you could go anywhere right now, where would it be? Probably Japan, I guess. Skeem, Mr. Beast wants to collab, but Watsky does as well. Well, if Mr. Beast wants to collab, I don't even know what that means. What's a collab with Mr. Beast? But probably Watsky in that situation, unless Mr. Beast is giving me lots of money. Nationality or beliefs? I don't know what your question is. Are you asking me? That seems really open. I don't know what that is. Do you think North Korea will ever be a major threat to the USA? Long term? No. Short term destruction, like a nuke or something? Maybe. But I think in a long term war, they would not be much of a threat. Which is probably the main reason they haven't actually tried to attack us, because they know that as well. But they could cause some damage before going down. PS4 or Xbox One? Which model? There's lots of them. If we're talking PS4 Pro versus Xbox One X, Xbox One X. If we're talking about PS4 versus Xbox One OG at launch, PS4. Computer greater than consoles, yes. I have strong opinions on how to pronounce most words. Sword, sword, soured. Just don't say sword as if you're soaring in the air. Put the W sound somewhere. After the O, before the O, I don't care. Communism is like rain. It sounds great, but then you get out into it and it sucks, I guess. Are you in your 20s? No, I'm much older than that. Is it just me or is Xbox obsessed with the word sex? Maybe. Hey, Skeem, love your stuff. Thanks. Cat or dog? Dog. Man, that question's been asked a lot. Why do you think this stuff always happens during election times? Also, what are your thoughts on Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter? Well, I mean, I think stuff is always happening. We just make a bigger stink of it during election season. Also, Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter. I think the political party surrounding Black Lives Matter, like when it becomes a political thing, and the actual organization that takes money, for their fundraising, I don't support that. I'm not behind it at all. I've seen a lot of corrupt shit from that party. Now, what it's supposed to stand for, not what it always does, but what it's supposed to stand for, I will be more of a Black Lives Matter person than an All Lives Matter person, because All Lives Matter is a given. We understand that. And it's negating the whole purpose of saying Black Lives Matter. That whole movement is saying that there are a lot of people who don't believe that Black Lives Matter. And that is an extraordinarily true statement, an undeniably true statement. And they're just trying to put to the forefront fighting against that notion. And when you say all lives matter, and you're like, well, I mean Black lives too, and they're like, well, that's not the point. Because what we're trying to say is, we know that all lives matter, but we feel the need to make an extra emphasis on Black people because a lot of people don't think that they matter at all. So when it comes to the political parties and exchange of money, I do not support BLM. I think it's extremely fucking corrupted when you get deep into it. But as far as philosophically and what these two things represent, I will always say Black Lives Matter, not All Lives Matter, because I actually understand the truth behind why they say that, and I've witnessed it, and I've seen it, and I know it's real, and I know it's bad, and I see it as something that should be talked about in that light. Do I believe in evolution or not? Well, I mean, I don't think evolution's that much of a belief system. It's more of something you learn about and know, right? I talked about this earlier in the stream. Sometimes people put the word believe into something that I don't think necessarily needs faith. Now, where I think a faith or belief system would come into place would be like origin of life, which evolution actually doesn't explain or have within its theory. Evolutionary theory officially doesn't have a statement on origin of life. It's only origin of species and how species developed. I think we have probably as much of it wrong as we do right. But aside from like the prime principle of what evolution is, I think that's just a factual thing. It's not something you believe or not. A lot of the smaller pieces within it are questionable, but the overall concept is pretty much factual. Well, it is factual if you believe in any sort of sciences. What's my nationality? Spanish, Puerto Rican, Cuban from the United States. And I've got a lot of beliefs. Black Lives Matter means all lives matter, therefore all lives matter is ignorant. Yeah, Tyson, that's kind of where I'm at. Dogs are infinitely better, yes. I give sword a subtle W after the S. Sword, okay. Would you rather be a werewolf or a vampire? I don't know, those both sound dumb. Right now, does Skeem look more like you or Mrs. Skeem? Mrs. Skeem. How long do you plan to do YouTube? Are you wanting to try something else or something? I do YouTube until I retire if it stays around. Opinion on Warhammer 40k. Don't have one. What's something you like as a kid that you hate as an adult? I don't know. Nothing comes to mind. Skeem got a memory loss hoodie today. Pretty dope. Also, if you could go back in time to any historic event, would you? If so, which one? Well, first of all, yay! Hooray for memory loss hoodies. Those are nice hoodies. Any historic event. I think it depends. Like if I get to videotape it and stuff, and then if I get to come back. If so, I'm definitely doing a Netflix film documentary on the life of Jesus of Nazareth. And we're going to have some answers on that one. Because then, regardless of what I find, my entire life will forever be changed, and so will the whole world. Black people are attacking black police officers, and they call them not black enough. Like, what the fuck? Well, yeah, I mean, there's hate everywhere. There's black on black racism, black on white racism, white on black racism, Asian. I mean, people hate because people hate. Have you heard of the Seattle taken over by protesters? Yeah. Similar stuff happened a while ago when a bunch of right-wing rednecks took over that preserve, that wildlife preserve with machine guns. So it's not the first time it's happened. The right and the left are both capable of stupid takeovers. It's interesting that they did it in the middle of a city, but again, common theme of the stream, people are stupid. Mass Effect 2 or any of the Gears of War? Mass Effect 2 is better than any Gear of War game that's come out. Do you believe that everybody has fixed points in their life, such as no matter what you did before this would happen? That's like destiny sort of thing? Probably not. I think it's more complicated than that. When did you first hear about the Tulsa Massacre? That's the race war, right? Where like a bunch of white people tried to kill a bunch of black people in like Black Wall Street or something. Is that what you're talking about? I'm bad with names of anything. If that's what you're talking about, only a couple years ago, because they had kept it pretty hidden for a long time. Hey, let me hear loot for the blah 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 blah. Yeah. Any chance I switch to a red bodysuit? No. Go away, Cam. Who's Cam? Are you regretting this question and answer? Not yet. I'm sad at some of the repetitive questions. For how dead my throat's getting, talking nonstop for 2 hours and 13 minutes. I'm going to need to drink something very, very substantial to get it back. Ugh. Whoops. So, I was just, this is a good story while I catch up on some stuff. So, as I was telling you guys, I'm like thirsty from all this talking. So I brought this mini fridge into the office, and I was like, I'm going to grab one of the Powerades I put in there a little while ago. Apparently, this mini fridge has a heat setting, and I had it on heat. So I have a very hot Powerade now instead of cold. So I had to grab one of the ones that weren't in the fridge, and I switched it to cold. So that's my story. Next time I do one of these Q&As, I'm going to have to be like, look, $5 per question. No, I'm not a sick, insane person. Not all the time. All right, do you ever listen to someone speak about politics and then begin to feel odd about how much of what they say you agree with? That's what I'm feeling right now, and I'm used to radical left and radical. Look, if you're a centrist, it's very rare you'll hear someone speak politics and not be giggling or annoyed. How tall am I? I don't know. You'll never know. Do you think places should defund the police or just rework the system for more better and training, blah, blah, blah? I think the 8 Can't Wait campaign was the best practical idea to come out of all this. Defunding the police is not a good idea. But the 8 practices outlined in 8 Can't Wait are actually very practical and smart and would help a lot. Why do you think Black Lives Matter didn't speak up when the Black Coppadori... again, I think as an organization, Black Lives Matter is a heaping pile of shit. I think the message behind its origin is what I support, not what it becomes. Hey, Skeem, I'd like to say that Bling CD came in, and thanks. And just realized you misspelled my name, but no biggie. Where did I put your name? But, alright. I have some ridiculous opinions on Jesus. Congratulations. Did you know that Rebecca Black wrote the song Friday about the assassination of JFK? I find that hard to believe since she didn't write the song. What do you think is the solution to racism? It doesn't have one. That's the problem with an ideal. When ideas and radicalizations don't have solutions, like the war on terror was stupid. You can't kill terrorism. You can't kill Islamic extremists. You'll never kill them all. And usually fighting violently increases it more. I think the best tools we have, there's no cure, but the best tools you have are essentially not talking about it a lot when you shouldn't be talking about it, not looking for it where it doesn't exist, and also being willing and open to listening to the people who are racist. Like, understand why they're racist. That's about the best way to make them not racist, is let them talk. Don't make them hide. Don't make it a big deal. Chillax. That's usually the solution to most things. Just, you'll see, like, when Klan leaders have left the Klan, the Ku Klux Klan, it's usually because someone who wasn't racist let them talk and just was friends with them. And eventually, they chilled out. That's my opinion. How shady is China? Depends. You were talking about Black Wall Street. Yeah, okay. Couple years ago. What site do you use to make your shirts? Teespring, I guess. And then I have King Peggy design the art. Skeem is almost 9 months. Mrs. Skeem and I have been married, 7 years? Skeem, Ultimate Shaggy versus Ultimate Schemer. Ultimate Shaggy's winning. Throat coat tea. Oh, I don't lose my voice, Kayla. I've trained my voice very well. I just need to keep it, from getting dry. And it's not just my throat, it's also just thirsty in general. Marxism is not a good idea. I don't give a shit what kind of skin you're wearing. What I meant earlier, I don't care where you are coming from. If you're an asshole, you're just an asshole. It has nothing to do with race. Yeah. Will you ever play Red Dead 2 on a stream? Probably. Hot Aid! Yes! Yes! Drink that Hot Aid! I made this for you! That's old YouTube right there. Should white people be made to feel guilty about what their ancestors have done? No, that's utterly insane. Is suicide selfish? It's more complicated than that. You could sell us the slow mode DLC for $5 each. Make it profitable at least. What's the best type of macaroni? I don't know. Ask Mrs. Skeem sometime. Love Skeem, but I also love watching 2RG, Two Rocking Grannies. I have no idea what Two Rocking Grannies are, but sounds interesting. You can't kill an idea. Nope. I don't think my opinions are appropriate for this stream. Alright. What's your theory on intelligent life being out there and us possibly not knowing? Seems plausible. And I don't think we'd ever know unless some very new technology was made that transcends anything we understand now. Favorite rapper, usually Eminem. If you had to listen to only one song the rest of your life, what would it be? I don't know. Are you sure she didn't write it? Yes, I'm sure. I know all about the studio that produced that song. Do you edit your own videos or do you pay an editor? I edit my own. Thoughts on Hong Kong? It's a place? No, I said we were together for 10 or 11 earlier. We've been married for 7. There's a difference between together and married, Sophie. Did you ever do a video discussing sexism and its real definition? I was interested in that, but I can't seem to find it. No, the closest I did to that was I did a video on women in leadership, which kind of just discussed biological and neurological differences between men and women. Would you rather have freedom or safety? Freedom. There is no such thing as safety. The odds of you dying at some point are 100%. Did you hear that insane Wall Street investor? He said the solution to Boomer Doomer is inject everyone with it. And if you die, you die. I mean, that's the solution to people getting over it, as far as not talking about it anymore. What mini fridge has a heat setting? I have no idea. I mean, I guess if you want to keep your chicken hot, where's a good place to start sharing content other than YouTube for people who write lyrics and raps? SoundCloud, probably. Does the different tape colors on your mask mean anything? Not necessarily. It's a bit generic, but which do you think is a more you-settling thought? That we are not alone in the universe, or unsettling thought? You missed an N there. That we are not alone in the universe, or that we are. Neither is unsettling because neither will impact us. Greetings, Torque. Do you think Trump calling cities like Baltimore a shithole or hellhole is racist, or should he have worded that better? I don't know why it would be racist. And Baltimore is a shithole. So that aspect of Trump I can always appreciate. He's awful in more ways than he's not, but I'll always appreciate the fact that he calls shit how it is. How did I get the mask started? Is there any story? So there is a story, the Wafatha, but I describe it more eloquently on a video I have titled Who is We Skeem? So search that on YouTube. I'm sure Duel probably said that too. Yep, there he is. Did you know Busta Rhymes plays Reptar in the Rugrats? I'd believe it. Suicide is selfish, but not intentionally. Usually the person committing the act can't recognize why it would be selfish in the first place, sadly. Not necessarily. I think it's also more complicated than that. Do you think having a ghostwriter makes your rap career less genuine? Absolutely. Honestly, rap is the genre of music that requires the least talent. And the only real talent that comes into rap is in lyricism. Because, let's break down rap. Anyone can really learn how to rap and have a decent flow. Your rap voice, quote unquote, is as much natural as it is a learned skill or talent. Most rappers don't make their own instrumentals. That's just a given. Very few of them make their own instrumentals. So the only thing in rap that is like musical is lyric writing and poetry. So if you're not even doing that, then yeah, you're what even are you? You're not a musician. Favorite ERB battle that you haven't reacted to on the channel? Good question. I don't know. Build the wall or nah? I think it's a waste of money. I think a better solution to our immigration problem is make it easier to immigrate legally. Because then we can actually properly account for these citizens and tax them properly and not have them be able to loophole into free healthcare and all that. It's very interesting how both sides are so wrong on immigration. The left's like, let everyone in, no matter what. Probably not a good idea. The right's like, keep everyone out, no matter what. Also not a good idea. Why don't we just do immigration reform? That seems to make sense. Would you agree that Bernie Sanders would have been a better choice in comparison to Hillary Clinton? I mean, I think he would have won the general election. And he would have done nothing in office because his politics are too extreme to get moved. I mean, aside from everything that's wrong with Trump, economically, since he's a business person, he's not been bad for the country. So I'm glad Hillary Clinton didn't get elected, but I didn't vote for Trump. I voted for Gary Johnson. If you could live on any planet in the solar system, which one do you think is the one you would live on? Probably Earth. That's where I'm at. Are you or your family religious in any sort of way? Yeah, I talked about that a little earlier. Not really religious per se, but we are at the same time. It's confusing, complicated. Don't worry about it. Do you ever think we will discover all of the ocean? Oh, we need some better tech, but probably at some point if we stay around. Vodka or gin martinis? Vodka. Have you ever thought about reacting to any Lil Wayne music? Not really. It's not my favorite style. Why is it the worst cities in America are Democratic-run cities? There's a lot of possible reasons for that. The Democratic Party as a whole focuses on social issues more than economics. The Republican Party is more economically minded. So usually when people say the worst cities, they're talking about economically worst, which would make sense that those would be Democratic cities. Democratic cities are also generally cities with much larger populations and more impoverished people before they become Democratic cities, because the Democrats like to target people who feel victimized. So it's kind of which one precedes the other. It's not necessarily that Democratic politics make these cities bad. It's just cities that are bad go towards the propaganda of the liberal agenda. Both sides have their own propaganda, so it's really hard to say which is the product of which. Most immigration comes from China, not Mexico. Legal immigration, but not illegal. What do you think the solution to fixing war zone cities like Chicago, Illinois, Compton, and Baltimore? Well, Chicago's not really a war zone. There's pockets of Chicago that are really bad, just like pockets of LA, and there's a lot of violent crime, but it's usually people who know each other, and they're violent to each other. It's not like just random people getting shot. Compton, I used to spend a good deal of time in Compton, and if you don't mess with other people, they won't mess with you. Baltimore's pretty messed up. But there's no, like, quick patch solution, so I don't think there's really a quick and easy solution to that. There's a lot of government reform that needs to happen at the federal and state level before anything can start to change. Do I support any football teams? The San Francisco 49ers and the Indianapolis Colts are my teams. 49ers first, Colts second. Would you rather have the virus end this year for more lives lost or have the full lockdown measures till vaccine is available. I like lockdown, so keep it locked down. Favorite genre of music that isn't rap? Well, rap's not my favorite genre. Alternative rock is. Yeah, the man who speaks in hands, Gaster. That's the real issue, is no limited terms on the Supreme Court or Congress. You have a bunch of extremely idiotic people who never leave. Will humanity become a type 1 civilization, or will we wipe ourselves out first? I don't think we'd ever completely wipe ourselves out. We could wipe out the majority of our population. I don't think we'll ever go full extinction. We're too advanced on the evolutionary scale and too resourceful. We may change if humans live long enough into different varieties of ourselves, but I don't think we're ever going to face extinction. I think the answer to that Torquinator is probably neither. I don't think this brand of humans will ever be a type 1 civilization, and I don't think they'll wipe themselves out either. Is it okay to be a nihilist? I mean, you could be whatever you want to be, but I think if you're a nihilist, you have a very poor understanding of the world. Medicare for all or no? It depends on who's in charge of it. Conceptually, it makes sense, but Medicare is shit. So universal health care has its merits. I'm kind of a weird hybrid. I think life-threatening medicine is something that seemingly government is supposed to be for protection, right? That's like really the main thing for government, protection and order. I think life-threatening illness would fall under protection. So I don't mind the government having a role in that, just it would need to be better than it is now. So I would say life-threatening illness, I would imagine universal health care should exist for that. All others, like just general ouchies and checkups and stuff, I think would be better privatized. Because, like, if you look at one of the only major medicines recently that's been fully privatized, which is LASIK surgery, LASIK surgery got way better and way cheaper super fast because there was competition and there wasn't regulation from, like, insurance and everything. So I think medical procedures that aren't life-threatening should be completely privatized. You could shop around like you'd shop for anything. So people have to be upfront, this is what I'm charging you. And then it puts more responsibility on everyone. Then there's a lot less pharma farming, where doctors get a bunch of benefits from pharmaceutical companies and all that crap. It solves a lot of issues. But I think life-threatening should be universal. Do you think affirmative action is a good idea? No, I don't. What do you think of fixed racism? I talked about that earlier. Do you think the means justify the results or vice versa? Depends on what you're talking about. We should do away with political parties. Yeah, at least the two-party system. Why do you think Joe Biden said if you have a problem figuring out if you are for him or Trump, you ain't black? What? Joe Biden doesn't even know what he says. Do you think Colin Kaepernick was fired for kneeling or being a below-average quarterback? As a 49ers fan, I could tell you it's because he was a below-average quarterback. And I could also tell you he wasn't fucking fired. He quit, and then he couldn't get another job. We were willing to renew his contract because we didn't have anything else going on. And we knew he was good or better at one point. He left. He left his contract. We were fine. He's the one that left. And then nobody else wanted him. Because, remember Tim Tebow, the same thing happened to him. He was in a playoff game, he won a playoff game, He was always pretty good, but everyone knew his quarterback mechanics weren't sustainable. But maybe he's a good backup or a starter. But what kind of drama came with Tim Tebow? Tons of drama. Most NFL owners don't want that because it makes the whole team around them worse. So, yeah, Kaepernick didn't get fired, but he didn't get another team because he was a subpar quarterback. He was one of the worst in the league his last 2 seasons. Not that the 49ers had a good offensive around him, but still. He was a subpar quarterback with a lot of baggage. You're never going to get a job in the NFL with that combination. I don't think it'll let you post a link, even if we wanted to let you. Violent criminals, kill them all, let God sort it out. I don't know. My opinion on that wavers. Depends how violent, I guess. Solution to overpopulation. My solution to overpopulation has always been the same. You, in the US anyway, you de-incentivize having children. So you take away tax breaks for kids, which I'll miss my tax break, but it's for the greater good. You take away tax breaks for kids. You give tax breaks for voluntary castration. So in other words, you will give, I would say for like 10, 15 years, you'll get a tax credit if you stop yourself from being able to be able to reproduce. We make that procedure free. So if you're a guy or a girl, snip or tie, you can't reproduce, and you will get a tax kickback for the next 10 or 15 years or whatever, and the procedure's free, fully covered. Here's what happens with that. It's actually a kind of a multi-layered benefit. Oh, also, you do the same thing for any violent criminals or sex offenders who are genetically proven for their crimes. Not those who were convicted by a jury, those who were proven guilty without the need for a court of law. Okay? Because I don't want us accidentally castrating people who we found out were innocent later. So genetically proven, no court of law required. So you get all those people from no longer being able to reproduce, and you no longer incentivize having children, and you incentivize not having children. The other benefit to this is you'll have a reversal. People who are well off, able to have families, they'll still have families, even if they're not getting a tax break. People who are poor, who might have been carelessly having kids, because there's only, there's certain benefits to it and not the same amount of risks, they'll make sure that they go ahead and get their tubes tied or get their stuff snipped to get that money. So you'll also help to decrease overpopulation in impoverished areas, which make them even more impoverished. So it's controlling overpopulation without having to euthanize the old people or any people, and without having to tell anyone what to do. No one's forced to do anything in that situation, but it helps with overpopulation. Let's see. Just hopped on the stream. The fuck we talking about? Don't worry about it. Where was I? Probably a lot of shit I missed. There's a lot of shit during that rant. Let's see. I'll just start from here. Have you watched any anime before? Yeah, Dragon Ball Z. What about debilitating injuries that could cause loss of income, such as knee or arm injuries? You better pay for it. You could still get insurance. health insurance would still exist in a privatized sector. That's called personal responsibility. I don't think that should be part of a universal healthcare system. It's not life-threatening. Does the mask ever get hot? Yep. Do you think we can fix racism in the future? I already talked about that. The Colin fired question triggered Skeem. Yeah, I'm a 49ers fan. I was triggered because I saw that man hurting my franchise. I didn't care about his protest. I kind of agreed with his protest. I thought it was stupid that people didn't want him to protest. What I cared about the whole time was that he was a shit quarterback. Rice Krispie treats are great. The media lied. They pressed that he was fired. No, he wasn't fucking fired. Bro, he talked about it himself. He was not fired. I don't think the media ever said he was fired. He wasn't fucking fired. Do you think if Colin Kaepernick comes back and sucks again, he will call the NFL racist? I don't know. Maybe, probably, who knows? Do you think welfare kings and queens who milk the system should have their ability to have kids removed? I don't think anyone should be forced to do shit. I just think they shouldn't be incentivized to do stupid stuff. Would you trust a self-driving car if it's available in the next year? I mean, they're available now. I would trust one just fine. I would just stay awake and stuff, because you could always take over if something went weird. Do you believe global warming is fact or myth? It's both. A lot of the claims of it aren't true, but generally speaking, humans definitely contribute to it being warmer. That's just factual. I think the things that cause it, that we focus on, are more political and inaccurate. The biggest thing is overpopulation is the biggest contributing factor to global warming, not people quote-unquote going green. That's not going to do shit. It's the amount of food we consume. The only version of going green that would have an actual impact would be everyone going vegetarian, not necessarily vegan, because you could still... It wouldn't even be vegetarian. Just stop eating beef and steak and everything. No more cows. Because land cleared out for cows, and cows producing methane gas and all of that does way more than anything else. So if we really wanted to stop global warming, it's not recycling and all the other shit that political parties push to sell product. You just have to stop eating beef. But I don't think it's actually anything that is going to happen. I don't think it's something, as far as those who say the world will end or whatever, that's stupid as shit. The world's more adaptable than that. It's not that impacting. The world will keep going 100, 200 years from now. It's not going to have any sort of global catastrophic effect like that. That is just absolute science fiction. But yeah, it's definitely having an impact, and a lot of species that aren't people will go extinct, and then it's just a matter of how much people care about that. New species will replace them eventually in the new climate. But yeah, the real ramification of global warming is loss of a lot of our tropic areas, a lot of pretty animals, and all sorts of stuff like that, but humans and the other animals will be fine. The world's not going to end from it. But if we really want to stop it, we just need to stop eating beef. That would be a big help in curbing it. Poor people will still have tons of kids. No way to stop people from having kids. Instead, you have rights. No, I'm telling you, if you tell poor people they get $2,000 a year for no longer being capable of having kids, they'll go ahead and take that check. Trust me. Okay. You think there's a racist noose in the NASCAR thing real? I have no idea. I don't care about NASCAR. Non-athletic sport centered around rednecks. If you were Batman for a day, first thing I'm doing, transferring all that Bruce Wayne money into my account so that the next day I've got all that money. On GMOs, I don't care. If I was in the Mortal Kombat universe for a month, are you joining a clan? And if so, whose? I'll hang out with Sub-Zero. Best Simpsons character? I don't know. Homer? Do you think the protests are worth it at the cost of the virus spreading the words? Blah, 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 blah. I think pretty much every protest that's ever happened, even with causes that I agree with, are pretty stupid. The only protest I've ever participated in was because they raised the price of cheese at my college. I understand protests, but I support them usually, but especially with like a pandemic and stuff going on, I'm just like, nah. I agree with the cause, but nah. But that's my opinion on protests in general. I think there's better ways to get stuff done. Look, J-Stack, I said stop eating beef will help save certain species. I didn't say that I was gonna do it. Can I have the knife from my stream? No. Do you think there's any interesting reason how the Simpsons predicted Trump's presidency and other stuff? No, there's not. Because Trump had talked about being in politics and being president years before that Simpsons episode. The Simpsons just pays attention to everything and makes so many episodes that coincidental stuff happens. Do you prefer CDs, tapes, or vinyls? Well, tapes are garbage. They're not a good format at all. Anyone who's like, oh, I like tapes, just doesn't understand music. CDs are technologically better, and they have a larger scope of sound than vinyls. I always put it like this. Microsoft Word is a CD. A typewriter is a vinyl. So, obviously, Microsoft Word is better. But sometimes, you kind of want a typewriter. You just like the feel of it. The nostalgia of the aesthetic. There's something appealing about it. Something calming about it. Something less digital and weird. So while it's technically inferior, there's things about it that are just endearing. So that's how CDs and vinyls are for me as well. And then what's tape? What's a tape? I don't know. A tape is like trying to type on an old, like, what were those called? Those stupid pads with the stylus from back when. Tapes are bad, that's what I'm saying. It's 12:30, so I am done with these questions. I was not expecting to go 3 hours on a stream. Holy hell. I just realized how long it's been. So we just did 3 hours of me talking straight, reading your questions. Holy shit. You guys had to bust a questions nut all over my face. Next time you could at least give me a reach around or some shit. Only shit, man, shit. But Gaster, with his $5 dono, since it came in after midnight, I guess, he is now the donor of the month, dethroning anyone else. No one else has donated. Congrats. Donor of the month. Tyler won last month. Actually, Tyler won the first 2 months that I've been putting that up there. But I'm going to go sleep because I've got my other job in the morning. Have a good evening. Until next time, I scheme, you scheme, we all scheme for ice cream. Bye.